Okay, this is Module 1, Lesson 6, Homework Help. There's the actual homework. Bonus. We were able to get through most of the lesson. I'm going to go through some of the problems that they do not have to do, so I'm going to do the other problems. So what I'm telling the kids to do is to make sure that you change your fractions into decimals, or you change your decimals into fraction. So I'm going to take the route of changing my fraction into a decimal. Now, in order for me to know that what 8300 is, I'm going to put my decimal, and hundreds have 2 zeros. Then I'm going to decide I need to know that the 3 is going to go in the hundreds place. So that means the 8 is going to go right in front, and then I'm going to have a 0 here. So that means these two are equal. There's no difference there. Alright, so we're going to go down to D. We are comparing using the greater than, less than, or equal sign. Okay, let me do something really quick because I know that kids are going to be confused. So I just want you to see that we start off with the 8300, and I know that hundreds has 2 zeros, so I'm going to have 2 spaces over here. So my 3 is going to go over here, and my 8 is going to go right in front of it. And that's how I know this is equal. Now if I look at the D, I first check these two, and I see that 95 is the same as 95. So I don't really have to pay attention to those. They're the same. I go into the tens place, I notice that the 0 is in the tens place here, and the 5 is in the tens place here. So therefore, I should know that 0 is less than 5. 0 is less than 5. So 0 tenths is less than 5 tenths. All right, we're going to go down to F. There's 2 word problems. This is building on what we did yesterday. So 5 ones, and the word and means decimal. 8 tenths. Tenths has 2 numbers, so my 8 needs to go and then a 0. Now here it says tenths. It only has, oops, that was my mistake. Did you notice that mistake? It is tenths, so that means my 8 goes here. That's the tenths place. Now over here it says tenths, so that means my 8 is in my tenths place, and the 5 is going to go in front. And you see those are the same. They're the same. H, we're going to have 104 and 1200 hundredths. So that's going to be 104 and 12 hundredths. Here we have again 104 and 2 thousandths. How do I know where the thousandths goes? Well, thousandths has 3, so there's going to be 1, 2, 3. I'm going to draw it with a line, but please be advised this is not the line showing you which one I'm comparing. That's showing you that thousandths means there's going to be 3 numbers, and since it's 2, the 2 is going to go over here. I'm going to fill this spaces with the 0. Okay, so now I compare the numbers. The 104 and the 104 are the same. Then I have my decimal, and then we have our tens place, and there's where the difference happens. So that's the one I'm comparing. So 1 is greater than 0. 1/10 is greater than 0/10. Okay, moving on. The last one, J. We have a decimal over here and then a words over here. So we're going to have to change these words into decimal so that we can compare them. So it says 703 and 5 hundredths. 5 hundredths, I'm going to have 1, 2 digits. So I'm going to write my 5 in the hundredths place and put a 0 here. And if I compare the 703 are the same, so then I'm going to go here and I have a 0, and I also have a 0. Then over here I have a difference of 0 and a 5. So that's where my difference happens. The 0 and the 5. Again, 0 is less than 5. Okay, so we have 0 hundredths is less than 5 hundredths. Now another way for the kids to see this is if we line it up. So if I line it up, let me try doing it a little bit nicer. If I line these up the best I can, where the decimals are in the same place, they're lined up, you can see right away the difference. So that's how we're comparing them, because we're lining them up and we're doing the hundredths place that we're comparing. All right. So here, this I know it's going to be a problem for the kids because they don't know increasing. We talk about greater than or less than, and that's what it told us to do in the book. So increasing means you're going to go from less to greater. So we're going to find the smallest number first out of these. I'm going to check my homework real quick. I think we're doing A, so I'm going to do B. Okay, so I told the kids to line these up. The best thing to do is to line them up. So I'm going to go 14 and 204 thousandths. and 14 and 200 thousandths, then 14 and 240 thousandths, and then 14 and 210 thousandths. Should I get my decimal in there? Make sure the decimals are lined up. Don't change these numbers. They're the same numbers. Sometimes you have to add zeros. This already came with zeros. And where does the difference happen? So we look at this, they're the same. We look at this, they're the same. Look at this, they're the same. We look over here, it's different. So we're going to go back over here. We're not really going to pay too much attention to those. We're going to start looking at this. So we need the least. Oh my gosh, they're all the same, or two of them are the same. We have a 0 and a 0. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the next ones. And which one's less? The 0's less. So we're going to write this one first. Then this one second. Okay? Then we're going to take a look back. And we're going to look again at the hundredths place. And we see there's a 4 and a 1. 1 is less, so we're going to go for this one third. And then of course this one's fifth, or fourth, excuse me. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and write them in order. So we're going to start off with 14 and 200 thousandths is less than 14 and 204 thousandths, which is less than 14 and 210 thousandths, which is less than 14 and 240 thousandths. So lining them up with the decimal in here, then they can start comparing as they go from left to right. This was asking for increasing, so these numbers are increasing as they go. So least to greatest. Here it says to decreasing. So we're going to go from greatest to least. Okay, again, I think I did A as a homework. Now, if you look at A, I'll go ahead and help you with A. I won't do it, but I'll line them up for you. Okay, make sure that they are lined up and then start comparing over here. We have two 8s here, so then we have to go over here. If these two are the same, then we have to go over here. What happens if you don't have anything? Well, we don't have to worry about that right now because these two are the same. We're moving to this one, and this has the most, and so on and so on. All right, remember you're going greatest to least. So I gave you a little hint there. So let's do B. So 439 and 216 thousandths. Then we have 439 and 126 thousandths. And 439 and 612 thousandths. And we have 439 and 261 thousandths. You can already see that the first three are the same. All of these are the same. So we're going to start off looking at the tens place. And we need to go greatest to least. Right there, I can see that the 6 is the greatest. So I'm going to copy that one, 439 and 612 thousandths is greater than all right, and then we have two 2's. What do? Now with the 2's, we have to look at the hundredths place. And we see that the 6 is greater. So we're going to write 439 and 261 is greater than 439 and 216. And hopefully you can see that the last one is the least one, 439 and 126. So it's comparing, understanding the place value chart. It's lining them up, making sure that they're lined up. All right. So today's bonus word. It's bonus word time. Bonus word. It's a phrase. Iced tea. I'm drinking it right now. That's why I'm thinking of it. All right. Make sure you write that on your homework and show it to me. Otherwise, I will not be able to give you the bonus points. Okay, hopefully that's helpful.